name is Keely and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for another behind the scenes look as I make some flowering gum nuts for the next soap. Now if you don't know what a gum nut is, it's the fruit that comes off of the eucalyptus or gum trees. It generally comes out as a little capsule which breaks in half or roughly in half, and then the flower comes out of the bottom of it. Now the flowers come in all sorts of colours including pinks, whites, yellows and oranges. We're going to do some pink ones today, and they also come in lots of different sizes. Now this one here, this is off a stringy bark eucalyptus, and this is a tree that we've had growing in our front yard, and you can see the little nuts on these are actually quite small. And then my mum found this one on a walk, so I'm not sure which gum nuts come off, but you can see they come in lots and lots of different sizes there. We're going to make some sort of medium shaped ones today, and we are going to do them with some pink flowers. So let's go and see how I make some flowering gum nuts using soap dough. Alright, we're going to try filming from a slightly different angle today so that hopefully you can see what I'm doing a little bit better than from the top view. What I have here is some brown soap dough. Now this is also not only got a bit of mocha brown in there. When I made this I put in a little bit of bronze as well just to give it a little bit of a shine. And what I'm going to do is just break this up into little 3.5 gram pieces, which I will then roll up into a ball. Rolled into their little balls, what I'm going to do is take one of these little rounds and I'm going to start to pinch the top of it to bring it into what will be the stem of the little gum nut. I'm just going to give that a bit of a tap down on the bottom just to flatten it out. Now when I was making these, originally I thought these could also almost pass as a Hershey's Kiss as well, if anyone's doing a Hershey's Kisses sort of inspired soap, if they are still a popular thing. I know they were a few years ago, but I've not seen them around for quite a while. But I'm going to do the same thing with all of these. So again, I'm just pinching the top of it and just slowly pulling that soap dough up between my finger and thumb until it comes up into a little bit of a point there. Now I know some of these look like they've got all cracks and things, but I'm not going to smooth it out too much because when you look at gum nuts, they aren't smooth and they do have a lot of cracks and things in the little gum nuts. So I'll get to doing all of these into this shape and then we'll move on to the next step. Generally brown in colour when you see them, but you do also get tones of green through them too. So what I've got in my little container here is some 70% rubbing alcohol, and I've mixed in a little bit of chartreuse mica, and I'm just going to add a little bit of a tinge of that green. But what I'm going to do is wipe most of that excess off my brush, just dab it on my paper towel there, and then just give it a really light wash with that green. And so that just means that that brown will come through, but you'll also get just that little tinge of green in there too. While these gum nuts are drying, I'm going to do another step before we finish these off. Whenever you find the gum nuts, usually you just find the gum nuts on the ground without anything, but before they actually fall off the bush and hit the ground, they do have the little gum flowers in them, and they're generally like lots of little stamens that are sticking out of the bottom of the gum nut. And you do get different colours, but the most common one I see around is a pink one. So I am going to make some pink stamens. So I've got my extruder and I've got the plate that's got lots of little holes in the bottom. I can hear an aeroplane going over the top of us there. Let's get that screwed down onto here. And now that is on there, all I'm going to do is wind the bit at the bottom here. I'm going to try and come over here, and as soon as that starts, well, it helps if we actually screw that on properly. That's it. Now I'm going to turn it, and that soap dough should now just start coming out the bottom, and I'm just going to make a long trail of them on my mat here. Alright, so I'm just going to leave the pink there just to air dry for a moment, just to make it a little bit easier to do what I want to do with them. What I've got in my container here is a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I have got just a little pastry sort of ball tool sort of thing here. And all I'm going to do is dip the end into that alcohol so it doesn't stick to my soap. Turning my little gum nut upside down where that flat bottom is, I'm going to push in and make a hollow. I'm not too worried if it cracks or anything like that, because as I said, gum nuts do have lots of cracks and scars and all sorts over them. But I want to try and keep that general sort of shape. So we're going to do that with all of our little gum nuts here. Okay, so my pink has been sitting here drying out for a little bit. Now I'm just going to take a knife and I'm going to cut a little bundle. And I wanted it to dry out so that the little strands will stay separate. I've just squeezed the bottom of that together, and I'm going to grab one of my little gum nuts. Oh, we'll stick that piece in there as well. Grab my little gum nut here. I've got my little jar with some rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to wet the inside of my gum nut here, and then just very gently push that in, just enough to make sure that it sticks. I'm then going to grab a pair of scissors and just trim that off. And the reason I want that to dry out a little bit is that all these little bits do fall away quite easily, and then I can actually then separate those little stamens out to make it look like a little gum flower. So I'm going to do that with all of my gum nuts here. Little gum nuts are now done and ready to go onto the weekend soap. I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made these. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments and questions down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And until the next video, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you then. Bye.